Another beautiful, hot, and humid day in Ohio, and this is my 2025 KTM 350XCF, and today I'm going to take it for a quick ride, and it's my first ride since I got the Pro Component rear shock back from Brad at RideWorks. I had this bike, or this shock, on my 23 Husky last year, 23 TX 300, so I sent it back. I sold that bike, sent this shock back to Brad. He redid the valving for the new 350, the 4-stroke, a little bit of different settings, and this has the new chassis. I also have a full Akrapovic exhaust system on this. It's quieter and lighter, and it actually a little more compact in the back. You don't need the full system, just the slip-on. I like these Akrapovic's, maybe a tick less like bark down low, but mid to upper it pulls strong, easily as strong as stock, maybe even a little better, and it's super quiet, and it has a spark arrestor. I also have my favorite set of cone valve forks. I've had these forks for 4 years now, and I've had them on multiple bikes, and this got a 4/8 spring in it. It's got a relatively soft GNCC style setting because I like to do slow vet moto, I like to do off-road, I like to do a little bit of everything, and these XCFs are the bike that does it all for me. Also, CUO unit, got one of these on. I'm running the dry hard pack map today, but boy, get these. I think just the unit's $190. I have the GPS thing too, but I don't have it on right now. I actually put last year's fender on because it's skinnier, and I'm not using the GPS on it, so I think it just looks thinner and makes me, it just feels lighter from the front of the bike looking down. I have a Selle di Lavala seat. These seats are nice. They're a little bit thinner, maybe 10 mils, maybe 5 mils, so it's a little bit lower to the ground. I'm 6'2", 190 pounds. It's probably not that big a deal, but I like just being a tick lower. If I'm going for a long ride, I'll put the stock seat back on because that thing is pretty aggressive. It definitely holds you in place. And what else? I think everything else is as it comes. I wish it had MX-34s. It's got MX-33 up front and an AT-81 in the back. The back is fine, but I like the MX-34 up front. But let's take it out. I'm at my favorite overall test ground here, where I got a little bit of old school MXGP along with some woods and trails. So we'll give it the long loop here. And 350s, man, they are just such a great combination of power, weight, and handling. And this Pro shock, yeah, Brad has a nice setting on it. I told him I want some plush, absorb those bumps. And you know, it's funny, when you get that TRAXX on there, on the back, it keeps that back tire on the ground, so you do not feel that chatter. It just absorbs this chop in the back section here. Yeah, it just gives it traction. It's probably the biggest difference you notice on the TRAXX is acceleration chop. Keeps that thing in contact. Now we'll go into the woods. Now normally, if I'm just going to be riding woods, I will put what I call my 250F map in. And that's a gravel wet, minimum throttle response, and minimum engine braking, maximum traction control. Got to do a little wheelie. Now the stock suspension on these bikes for 25 is really good, but I have this Pro Component stuff and it is just a little bit better. Now the forks are really noticeable. The shock is more subtle, has better kind of ramp up at the end of the stroke. You notice that more when you're on the moto track and you're kind of hitting the jump faces. There's lots of spider webs out here. And like under braking, this thing just keeps that wheel on the ground. It's TRAXX shock. These 350s are so fun. Man, big power. And these, that's when you need these Brembo brakes. Gets you slowed down. Oh, let it sing. Okay. Boy, I like this bike. I really like this bike. So, cone valve forks, they are excellent. I still got plenty of travel left. No big jumps today on this track. Man, I got a spider hanging in front of me here. But the pipe, good power. You can see it just pulls up top, nice and quiet. Man, Brad did a great job on that Pro Component rear shock. And CUO, engine braking, dial it back, frees the whole bike up, just feels lighter. And this chassis definitely has more compliance, a little more comfort. If you're picky, you'll definitely notice it. It's a little better tire contact patch feel. You know what the front and back are doing. You drift into the corners. You just feel that feedback, and not in a bump in way. Just the tires are planted on the ground, especially with the Pro Component suspension. So I really like this bike. It is a lot of fun. Now, full Pro Component, CUO, Akrapovic, funny seat, my skinnier front fender. It's dialed. We're going to have some more fun with it, though. 2 big thumbs up. KTM 350XCF does it all. 2025.